hopefully this should be working now. Just need to check, just in case it's not. Haven't done this for a while. As you can probably tell. The plan was to have a mini Christmas stream of myself playing a game. And obviously the game was going to be Grand Theft Auto. But yeah, I'm trying to see if my Twitch is still working. I've not used it since like February or March. So bear with me whilst I set this up. Yeah, and hopefully when it's working, we can get started. Not a best start, is it? It's not exactly going to plan. I can't actually access the Twitch stream itself. So, yeah, apologies for this somewhat poor start. Right. So this should be working now. Okay, excellent. It's definitely working. Right. Only took 6 minutes. So this is going to be a Christmas Eve rather, video game stream of just me talking about politics and stuff in general, and you get to enjoy, if it's your cup of tea, me playing Grand Theft Auto online. Let me just share this to Twitter, and then we'll get started. Only 7 or 6 minutes of setting up. Haven't done this since, what's it called? Since like April. So a bit rusty. And what? Right, that should have posted. Okay, so hopefully. Right, finally. Okay, so we are going to do some missions and stuff. Essentially, you're just watching me play a game that I play a fair amount. Can't say I'm the best at GTA. Alright though, so yeah, not too bad. First of all, we're going to do Sightseer. Essentially a mini game where you have to like find packages and stuff. Not too difficult, but you know, it's pretty relaxing, so ideal for this sort of thing. Actually quite a fan of Grand Theft Auto. It's quite a good game, I find, in terms of just like quality and stuff. Certainly one that I've put a lot of hours into, and certainly one that's held up quite well. Like, how many games can you think of, like 5 or 6 years after they came out, still being played today and still sort of being enjoyed today as well? And yeah, that's a lot of the nature of GTA. It's a very good game. Especially because when you consider they've not actually got that many like licenses, like aside from music and stuff, the car I'm driving currently just isn't. It's not anything. It's what I don't even know the name of the car, but yeah, I guess. You know, I'm not even sure. I wouldn't be able to tell you what kind of car this is, just based on how it looks. But yeah, anyway, Sightseer, get the packages, drive to wherever this is, and get it. If you've noticed, which I hope you have, it's snowing currently in the game, and that's a consequence of it being Christmas. Rockstar very generously has edited the game itself to have snow. Normally it wouldn't be, because this is obviously set in Los Angeles, and you know, Los Angeles is not exactly, it's not got the climate of snow, has it? Oh gosh, that wasn't good. Get over there. Go on, you can do it. Oh, great. Right. Let's take some detour. Pretty poor driving, but you know, hardly the end of the world. Yeah, almost at this first package. It's a pretty basic concept, you know, collecting these packages and playing like a little mini game to get the next one. Not too there yet. So obviously the mini game, there's 3 different types of mini game, change each time. But generally, you know, they're not exactly tricky to get your head around. Now I may actually put some of the in-game music on in a second, because Rockstar's own tracks for backing at the moment aren't exactly the best to listen to. Sadly, no, well, sadly depending on where you enjoy them, no Christmas songs, no Christmas channel. Strange enough, because in America, I know they dedicate entire radio stations to Christmas songs, which is a bit strange really when you think about it, because like, you know, imagine turning your entire radio station into just like festivities. It's a bit obsessive, I guess, but you know, depends on what you're into. I mean, Christmas as a whole, like, it's good to a degree. Like, lots of people obviously enjoy it quite a bit, and then there's lots of people who aren't so keen on the holidays. Lots of people who are working in the holidays. Now, I work at a school, so in that regard, I'm quite lucky in that my time off corresponds with the holidays. But you know, people who work in retail and in, you know, restaurants and stuff, and those sort of commerce, they're going to be having a pretty hectic holiday. You know, they're often not treated very well by, you know, customers and people they're working for not much pay, and expected just to get on with it. Meanwhile, you know, the employer is making a fortune off the labourers they've got working for them. And you know, that's not an ideal time. It sort of goes against the values of Christmas that the holiday is supposed to be about. You know, a time of goodwill and giving to all, and you know, joy to all. And then you've got people being exploited and mistreated in a manner that's, you know, not good at all. But sadly, you know, if we're gonna talk about the contradictions of those who love Christmas and those who act in a poor way during Christmas, we'll be here for quite a while. But certainly the mistreatment of people who work in retail and in, you know, on the shop floor of like supermarkets and stuff, and mistreated, pretty glaring one, and just shows how, you know, the ideals of being good to each other are contradicted by the capitalist system that we, you know, frame ourselves in, find ourselves in. Now, as I'm sure you saw, I just finished the mission. So the next part, next thing we're going to do is collect a car itself. So one of the, on GTA Online, you obviously make money by doing missions and tasks and things like that. And one such way, because the game is generally quite tricky, one such way of doing that is just, you know, finding cars, or high-end cars, the supercars, and then selling them on. And obviously you've got to find the car first, and your assistant will source you like a drug dealer's car or some like local car executive or whatever for you to steal. And then
it looks like this vehicle's been involved in something pretty nasty. Go to the crime scene, pick it up, and bring it into the warehouse.
So for instance, this mission, the car is going to be, you know, somewhat damaged or something, or, you know, being investigated by a mechanic or whatever, and we're going to have to go and retrieve it. Now, this particular mission, they vary in difficulty. I don't know if I can use in the background this time. Yeah, this mission, it varies in difficulty. It can be quite frustrating because when you're like collecting the car, you obviously have to pay for any damage that it sustains. And when the game spawns you a car which is already damaged from the start, you're already paying for the mission in the first place. And it wouldn't be so bad, but you know, it's coming out of your pocket. You need to make any, you know, substantial profit. You're gonna, wow, that's poor. You're gonna have to, you know, deal with the damage to sales. And is that really fair if you're like trying to make a profit? You know, bear in mind that the reason you're doing this is to make money, but then having your money eaten away by external costs, it just, you know, adds that level of difficulty. And this is in a game that is exceedingly hard to even make money in. You know, GTA, notorious for, you know, being difficult, and certainly being a chore to sometimes make money in. And when you consider how much the game revolves around this, it can be quite difficult. Yeah, it's quite frustrating. Speaking of which, the police in real life in America, and really in general, the police, you know, they're not. Their contributions to society are more revolved around, you know, policing people, policing the marginalised, upholding capital and the states against, you know, terms of justice. Think about how many people, you know, the police actually benefit compared to who they harm. For every one case of the police, you know, solving a murder, you've got the police actually murdering people themselves. You know, keeping how many people die every year because the police enact violence on them. How many more people find themselves, you know, incarcerated because the police decided to act against the person. And you may be sat there thinking, oh well, you know, people there going against have broken the law, but are the laws just? You know, when the police are cracking down on someone smoking a recreational drug, or, you know, stealing a loaf of bread because they need to eat, and then, you know, is that something we want to be punishing as a society? You know, are we punishing the worker trying to survive, or just trying to, you know, get through the day-to-day toil of life, or are we going to punish the source of the injustice? You know, why is it that someone has to steal and take an item of food just to survive? You know, that's not good. That's not something that a just society should have. The police, as an act against the person who's trying to survive, act against the worker, the marginalised person, and often enact extreme force against them. You know, think about how many black people in America get shot or killed or, you know, brutalised every year, and the police just have the power to do that. And despite it being a video game, GTA is often, you know, a good encapsulation of how, you know, backwards the police are, where they're, you know, perfectly happy to shoot you to pieces, you know, over nothing. You know, like, for instance, in this one, I've stolen a car, right? Now, yeah, you know, you could argue that that's not good, but they're sending their entire, you know, their entire police force after me. For what? For the fact I've stolen one vehicle. Now, real injustice is, you know, a homeless person being unable to, you know, have shelter in horrid weather conditions like this. You know, but the police, what do they do for that? Nothing. They don't use any of their resources to help people who actually need help. They spend time, you know, defending the supermarket with, you know, that's lost one loaf of bread on top of millions. They spend time going after, you know, a petty thief who steals a car from a multi-millionaire who's got like 7 or 8 other ones. You know,
what can I help you with?
There's so much needless.
Can't handle the heat, my friend? Okay. Leave it with creepy Uncle Lester.
Categorized as crimes in this world. You know, it don't really need to be. And with that, the car has been delivered. Now, I can't see it on my screen because the little Twitch bar is covering it up. But yeah, $3,895 of damage. Bit of a shame, really, isn't it? Anyway, next part, or next segment of this mission, obviously once you've got the car, you have to sell it. Now, selling cars is another bit of a deal. because similarly the game it likes to put roadblocks between what's it called, you and making money. And again, it wouldn't be so bad, but when the cars that are chasing you can they can lock on, they can instantly track you. It's pretty frustrating. Anyway, this part of the game, I'm literally just modifying the car because supposedly they'll be able to work out that you've stolen their car unless you like repaint it and stuff. Just give it an air horn. We've changed the colour already. Give it a spoiler.
Not bad. Yes, me.
We'll give it some nice wheels. So yeah, we've repainted the car, remodified it and whatever. And now, the last leg of this particular mission, we deliver the car to the buyer. Now, this is another part, that is irritating. In the bottom right there, you can see the commission I'm receiving is $100,000, which is, a fair amount of money. But in Grand Theft Auto terms, you want to be making 7 figures. You want to be, affording the kind of car I'm driving now. Acquiring lots of property and goods and stuff. You want to be some crime lord. And $100,000 isn't really going to cut it. You consider the fact that I've already had to pay $20,000 to have this car modified. On top of the, the damages that have been sustained, I've got gang members chasing me in other cars, shooting the body of the car, that's costing me even more. And then you look at the market value of this car, what the guy who I'm delivering this car is going to sell it for, and he's getting 1.5 million, 1.6 million if you round up. That's ridiculous. I'm the one who's stolen the car, who found the car, who painted it up, has fought off enemies to deliver it. And I'm getting 6%, just over 6% of the total fee. It's ridiculous. And the game obviously, it's not like you can say, "Oh, I want more." There's no platform for asking for more money from the game, because obviously the game's only so developed. You can't do that to that degree. So I'm being fleeced of the money that I have produced. I'm responsible for this car being delivered to the guy, and yet where's the comeuppance? Where's the return in fairness? And this, to an obviously much worse degree, is another of the faults of a capitalism, where people on top get to dictate and command the produce and value that those on the bottom produce. To go back to the Christmas retail slog, the people at the summit of society are the ones commanding the millions that shops like Tesco and Asda and all of them make. Yet the ones doing the work that makes that necessary are the farmers who make the food, the people in the shops who are selling it, the truck drivers, delivery men, all those people who are a vital part of the process of society. They're on minimum wage. They're barely getting anything. They're having to work a 12-hour slog on Christmas Eve because they have no other choice if they don't adhere to the capitalists' demands for what they need to do. Then they're not going to have money. They're not going to be able to afford the food and the housing and the electricity that they need to survive. Is that a fair state of? That's not a fair state of society to be in. It's not a state of being. That's what I'm looking for. And yet, here we are in society in supposedly the civilized era, and that's what many people are facing. And you know, obviously, me saying, "Oh, 100 grand next to $1 million," is a bit, you know, it's a video game. But in real life, it's much worse because, you know, minimum wage compared to what the executives of like these shops are making is just like a modicum, a fraction of the, you know, what these people should be getting as a fair return for their work. You know, just look at the salaries of companies like Tesco, like McDonald's, the retail stores, Adidas, Nike, Apple, all these different things. And then look at the salary of someone on the shop floor, you know, the person dealing with often, you know, rude, impatient, impolite customers. There's just no justification for that other than, oh, the boss wants to make money, the boss wants to own millions at the expense of the worker, and the you know, the livelihood of the worker, because the the worker is suffering for the fact that their life and their work in society is being commodified. You know, there's no care for how the worker's going to get by. There's just, oh, the boss wants an extra super yacht, the boss wants another sports car. Let's pay our workers nothing. Anyway, this mission, as soon as I have been slightly distracted, so there's an armed robbery going on. Oh god, that wasn't very good. Yeah, an armed robbery going on, and I am essentially intervening, killing the bank robbers in the midst of their robbery, taking the gold they're getting, and then delivering it to the person these bank robbers were going to sell it to in the first place. Now, there's a guy with a minigun who just killed me right behind the door. There we go.
Okay, I've got a client who'll take this off our hands, as long as the cops are out of the picture. Lose them and drop it off. And other crews can see where you are.
Something to get away in my helicopter. I say my helicopter. So this one's actually a fairly easy mission compared to the average. The police aren't the best in terms of competence. You know, they don't think to send helicopter now, despite the fact that they clearly saw me in a helicopter. I've only got 1 star, despite the fact that I murdered a lot of people in a bank and some police officers. Did I murder any police officers? Yeah, I did. I blew them up on the way. And now I've apparently got away, and just have to go and deliver it to the where the guy is, the gold. So yeah, not the most difficult mission, but it pays relatively well. You know, when you consider that the sightseeing mission I did gave me what, 20,000, and the car stealing one, while good, I can only do it every 20 minutes or so. This one is 30 grand, and it's a good filler activity while you're waiting for the 20-minute timer to expire. Yep, there we go, $31,000. The next mission we're going to do, as the 20 minutes hasn't elapsed yet, do hostile takeover, and we're near the airport, so we'll do this one. So, hostile takeover, like it says, retrieve the briefcase and deliver it to the drop-off. So, very simple again. There's some people, you've got a suitcase, you get it off them, obviously you've got to kill them, and then deliver it to the drop-off, which is like a place on the map, basically. Specific. Not very detailed, but it's easy, and it doesn't take very long to do. So supposedly these guys are like the FBI or something. Oh, I'm a bit close to using the rocket. Oh, I'm gonna die. Wow, that wasn't very good. Yeah. So perhaps not the best execution of that undead. But you know, should be worse. Come on. Back out here again. So, from the looks of the car and you know, the people who were nearby, looks like, yeah, there you go, FBI or FIB as they're stylized as in this. You know, why they're like camped out in an air hangar, who knows? But again, it's another example of just, you know, an utter waste of service. You know, look at the amount of resources they're sending after me. I'm one guy who stole a briefcase. You know, who knows what's in those files? Probably nothing of importance. Probably just like the bank details of some, you know, like the CEO of Verizon or something, or Amazon. It's silly. It's a waste of resources that should be spent on helping society. But yet, that is the, you know, corrupt and broken nature of our justice system. I'm going to put this helicopter in the drink if I'm not careful. Oh, gosh. Right. You know, that's not a fair way of doing things, having so much money spent on protecting the wealthy, protecting those with power, you know, who shouldn't even have that power or that wealth to begin with. You know, in the UK, there are, well, at the end of that. What was I saying? Yeah, in countries like America, there are millions of people who are going to be having this Christmas in poverty, without proper meals, you know, without proper electricity, even on the streets, you know, without a house. And rather than address all that, you know, the police instead choose to, or, you know, society instead wastes time on people who, you know, really don't need extra support and help. I mean, who knows what's in this briefcase? Now, I'm being shot to pieces here by helicopters. Not sure how much further I have to go before I reach the waypoint. Not too much further, but you know, obviously the entire police force is ready to get me as soon as I get out from the water. Right, let's make a mad dash for it. Run, run! We find it quite funny that there's people on the beach just standing around. They're very good. Now they've reacted. Right, in here. Quick, quick, quick. Where am I going? It's a dead end. Run. Right, I should be able to climb over this. Nope, well, great. Isn't going very well. There we go, right, jump over there. And there we go, just like that. Now, because I've completed the mission, I don't even need to worry about the police that are all clearly just... I was going to say clearly just there. but I do need to worry about cars driving on the road. Right. So you'll notice I keep spawning the Terabyte because it's. Well, did I spawn it? Yeah. Right. Yeah, the Terabyte, a much quicker way of doing things, just like a hub for your illicit activities. Essentially, like, normally you do these sort of things from the office, but actually, have I been in this? No, I'll show you it later. Normally you do things from like a proper business centre. And instead of having to drive to that office, you can just do it from here, which is very convenient. It's certainly one of the better items.
Okay,
anyway,
the
this
morality
is
on
what
this one's a little
time.
less murky. The car owners bet the pink slip that no one can beat his point-to-point time. Beat it, collect the car, and bring it in.
Right. So, nice and simple. Well, simple-ish. Again, this one is quite misleading because, well, you'll see in a second, but like the assistant said, she wants me to, she wants,
You're through to your garage.
get a fast car,
need me to
beat
bring
the
you a ride?
point-to-point time. Got lots and lots of cars. We're going to go for a Lamborghini.
I'll bring it by. Aight, I'll get back to work.
Hopefully it spawns it on this side of the road, so I don't have to find myself. There we go. So yeah, like I said earlier, they don't actually have the licenses, which actually works to its benefit because instead of having to base their roster of car choices around just actual cars, they can do what they want. They can make their own cars and give them their own names and do as they wish. So they don't actually have to spend as much money on that and can instead focus on other things. So good bit of ingenuity from Rockstar. This is a Pegasi Infernus classic, so like a Lamborghini from the 80s, I guess. And it's quite nice actually. I do quite like sports cars. It's a pretty nice looking car, really. You may not like the colour scheme, but I do, so that's good. It is my car, after all. And what I find quite impressive is because the obviously Grand Theft Auto has been going on for quite a while. It's like this is the 5th game. It's not even that. It's the 5th in terms of the numbered games, but in terms of the games in general, it's been like what 10, 11, 12, something like that. But the Infernus back in like the earlier games looked like this. So obviously this game is set in the modern era today. But games like San Andreas and that was some good stuff. San Andreas, Vice City, GTA 3, they're all set in like the 80s and 90s and stuff. So obviously cars are 20, 30 years older than what we see today. So the fact they can bring back those things in today's game and like reskin them and stuff is, I think that's pretty impressive. I think that it's a really nice touch, and especially when you consider that the cars you get in today's games, are much better in terms of the you know, customization options and stuff. It's very good. Home's radio. Non-stop pop FM. That's the thing. The radio station, like, it's really expensive. You know, you've got loads of different options. Choose whatever you want. Actual licensed songs, you know, so they clearly put the money into acquiring those licenses rather than just, you know, having it in anything. And they do a really good job of it because, you know, it does feel like you've got, you know, just a dial and just whatever you want to choose. It's a really good game. I really enjoyed Grand Theft Auto. As evidenced by the fact that 5 years after it's come out, I'm still here playing it. Now, again, I can't actually see my own time, but the race itself, like getting to the location, is quite easy. Like, I'd be pretty worried if I hadn't beaten the time. So yeah, I'm, you know, not worried about not making the 3-minute time period. Ah. There we go. So yeah, things all seem normal. You know, you've won the bet that was set, you've beaten the point-to-point time. And then, oh look, the guy who set the bet wants to challenge that. So, you know, you kill him, and you think, okay, well, I've got rid of the owner of the car. The car's mine. I can just safely drive this back to, you know, the warehouse. Very safely, beating the snow and stuff. But then, oh look, the game spawns these two guys. Instant aim, you know, I can't see the damage that's been done because there's a blue bar on my screen for the Switch settings. But yeah, I guarantee it's like, you know, $3,000 or $4,000 been knocked off for me to have to, you know, spend repairing it, knocked out my profits. Yeah, it's just, you know, it's not ideal. You know, you've done the task, and instead of getting the car, you know, instead of like getting the car fairly after the race, you've now got these guys who, you know, keep the spawning. So he's not just got 2 sets of friends, he's got, you know, just countless sports cars, enemies trying to like shoot the car up. And that's the thing as well, you know, if you're trying to get this car back, you know, they're trying to get the car back for their friend, but they're shooting it up, so surely they have to pay. Like, it makes more sense just to like follow me to the warehouse and then try and get it for me once I've parked it there, instead of doing this like absurdity. But no, instead they decide to try and shoot me up. Yeah, and it's just silly. Yeah, here's the third wave. Not really sure why the police haven't dealt with them, you know, parking their cars in like the opposite lane to driving. Clearly not, you know, shooting at other drivers. The police only seem to come after me though, don't they? Oh, that one's been good. I believe that was the 4th set. 4th set we just passed. this car that I'm driving currently, I think from memory it's meant to be a McLaren, so you know, like a proper supercar. It's a lovely car, you know, it's absolutely a sort of engineering monster that you'd want, you know, if you were some sort of wealthy like socialite wanting to show off your mechanical prowess. Anyway, let's see how much we have. I wasn't even aware that I had a bounty on me, so you know, as it just came up on the side there. See how much we got. Can't see. I think it was. Yeah, I'm not even sure, to be honest. Anyway, we did that. The cost, I think, was like 6,000 or something. Didn't quite see it. I was just surprised I had a bounty on me. Anyway, as you can see, the 20 minutes has elapsed, and we're now going to export another car. I'm going to export the Osiris. It's obviously better, more beneficial to you know, go for cars which are faster, so you can outrun the people who come after you. Give it a nice one.
Looking good.
Because, like I said earlier, you know, the game likes to put obstacles in the way of you making money. Which is obviously, you know, it's natural. The game's not just going to give you money. It's not going to be easy. But, you know,
Okay,
frustrating.
you've done the hard
too,
part.
because
Now deliver those goods undamaged, and we'll...
it wouldn't be so bad too, but when it's like, you know, the same two enemies, same, you know, auto-aim, like, bullets hitting the main part of your car, it gets a bit frustrating. Yeah, it doesn't help that you lose money when you're bad at it. Oh, this is good. See, well, I was at fault for driving headfirst into that car. You know, A, it's the middle of winter. Got to be driving a bit slower anyway. We're coming around that corner quite quickly. B, the guy gets out of his car like he owns the road, and yeah, starts yelling at me, oh, you know, I'll get you, or whatever. Also, he was topless. It's the middle of winter. Is he not, like, cold? Anyway. On to the next terabyte mission. Which we're going to steal this car to drive to. Just around the corner. And How are these people not like cold? You're in a shorts and like a vest. I suppose the game isn't programmed to recognise that in the middle of winter.
Well done, out.
The game didn't come out with snow, it's just they added it for a festive period, but still. So, the next mission, data sweep. Again, relatively easy. Bit harder than the bank robbery one. There's
The job
4...
is finding and securing data drives
well,
moving
just
around the
that
city
page.
and not
Yeah.
asking what's on them. Get close to likely vehicles and run the SecuroServe hacking app from your phone. If it identifies the drives we're after, take the vehicle. But be warned, you're going to have to get pretty close to them to run the sweep.
So yeah, like you said, 4 cars around the city with data drives. Gotta hack them with my phone. Which is a lot less convoluted than it seems. Like, this car's terrible. Yeah, 4 cars with data drives, technically. Hack them, find out which one you've got to steal, get the car off them, and deliver it to the drop-off. It's not very difficult. Annoyingly though, it's one where they shoot back, so it can be a bit cumbersome.
Okay, that's not carrying the drives. Find another
Alright, so I
vehicle
can
and
forget
start
them,
the
they're
scan
not
again.
one of them. Go for this one. In fact, we're going to call a car mine, because I don't want to drive around rubbishy own brand cars.
You're through to your garage. You, need me to bring you a ride?
Right, this time we'll go. Yeah, I'm not actually sure what I'm going to choose. Go for the Tesla.
It's coming at you. I'll get back to it then.
It's like a from memory, I haven't played with that car. Yeah, okay, I remember now. It's a hybrid of like an electric car and a supercar. So it's like really quiet compared to most cars of its caliber.
My beautiful car.
Not the best driving, but you know, if I was judged on my driving, I wouldn't be playing the game.
Life begins. Go to hell!
No drives, no dice. Keep searching.
Oh gosh, get out of here.
Drop your weapon!
Right, next up, this car looks closest. Now, you might think with this mission that the, you know, your two, like of the 4 cars, or, you know, called data drives there. 2 of them have been killed already, or hacked or whatever. You might think these people would have sort of woken up to the fact that they're being hunted down and like, you know, do something about it. But apparently not. You know, they're going to keep on aimlessly driving around the city. You know, not with a care for what's happened to their associates. Anyway, here we go, 3rd one. I'm dead. Right. Right, there we go. Dead. You're dead. Now I can take the car. Oh, what? You! Go away! No, not... Stop it. Right, there we go.
Okay, you've got this. I don't know what we're stealing, but I know they won't want it stolen. Keep those drives safe and get them to the client. I'll feel a whole lot better when this job is over with. Okay, watch yourself. We're busy.
Yeah, a bit trickier than the other one, but now at least I'll be able to, you know, drive this without much of a problem to the drop-off. What's on these data drives is anyone's guess, but knowing the nature of the American way, probably more, you know, corruption files or something. Like how we're going to avoid tax this year or whatever. How we're going to kick poor people off their food stamps. In the process of this stream, actually, I've had, I think, 1 or 2 people actually subscribe to my streaming account, which is quite nice of you, so thank you very much. And aren't many people watching, but you know, I'm not too fussed about how many people watch. You know, it's, anything is nice, you know, like a mini Christmas present. I'm grateful to have the audience at all. These stream calls will be available on my YouTube channel once I've finished with it here. So if for whatever reason you are wanting to watch this again, or if you missed part of it, then the whole thing's going to be on my channel. And in the more likely case that you come back to watch it, you know, for the first time instead of, you know, you didn't see it live. Obviously you're watching it on YouTube now, so it's a bit pointless of me saying, but still though, you know. Anyway, another sizable amount of money, $33,000.
The money should be in your account. Now let's just hope no one ever audits you and finds out who made that deposit. Right, comrade?
Interestingly, $33,000 is, you know, a substantial amount of money, probably more than
You're through to your garage. You
average
need me
worker
to
in
bring you a
America
ride?
earns in a year. You know, ridiculous amount. Certainly more than I earn in a year. You know, I don't get to see 33 grand. You know, yeah, in this world, it's, you know, it's pocket change. It's
I'll bring it
nothing.
by.
It's not considered a sizable amount. You know, perhaps a sign of the lack of realism of the game, I guess. But you know, certainly in GTA terms, you know, you want to be making more. Anyway, another mission. So this one is Headhunter. It's similar to the Data Drive one in that, you know, you're getting people. But at the same time, dissimilar, because rather than taking their vehicles, you're killing people. Ouch. Yeah, 4 targets, gotta kill them all. Or sorry, assassinate, being said. Being a bit more formal about it. So yeah, the reason I chose this vehicle is because it's got rockets on it. And who doesn't like a bit of explosive power? Ouch. So our next target is just up the road. Now see, this is an actual like purpose the police might have, you know, and just sort of more justifiable reason to come after me. I'm driving around in my car, blowing vehicles up. Yeah, that's something they might actually want to stop. But, you know, the police do this in their own time anyway. You know, think about all the protests they, you know, help to sort of try and stop and, you know, beat up peaceful protesters and stuff. Or, you know, protecting fascists and, you know, being violent towards counter-protesters and stuff. You know, the police, their priorities are so skewed because ultimately, you know, they don't protect people, they protect laws and capital. They uphold the relation of class. You know, workers are obviously the ruled people, and the police are the force of the ruling class. You know, that's not good. There shouldn't be a class system to begin with, and the police's existence, you know, they are around to maintain this class relationship. You know, you can't have the shop owner withholding resources and food from the workers who need it, unless you've got a police force there to maintain this relation. You can't have the farm corporation owning, you know, entire pieces of countryside. If you don't have the police there to enforce their, you know, private property. there's so much in society wasted. It's unfair predicament. And you know, large part of that is down to the police. You know, policing people and, you know, ruining their lives at the behest of a system designed to commodify, yeah, and negatively affect the lives of others. Just locking my doors in the car. Yeah, the other benefit of this car is that it can jump and it's got boosts. So this is based on the car from Speed Racer. I've never actually seen Speed Racer, but you know, you can get a paint job with this that makes it look exactly like it. And that's my other door lost now as well. So the final guy is in this car park. Quick. There we go, right, mission complete. 22 grand. And now, we can start the next car stealing mission. So now we'll see my office, as I'm not too far from it. So the office is like obviously the hub of where the criminal empire is situated. Got a nice skyscraper. This one here.
That's crazy.
Right. So yeah, I own a penthouse in this building, rather than a skyscraper.
Boss.
Just, yeah, it's a bit of a dump, really. Not sure why there's money everywhere. Especially seeing as it's not even money I use. Like, my money is all in a bank account. You know, it's not like it's money I can pick up and use in the game.
Listen, you do
Yeah, steal a vehicle.
MBA, don't you?
And let's go. So we're stealing the Reaper, which is a
Hi there.
Lamborghini.
What can I do for you? Quite a collection you've got here.
Which
Just
vehicle
let me
should
know
we
what
use
you
this time? You know, I'm not actually sure. Let's go
No
for
problem.
the
I'll have your
croquettes.
personal vehicle brought around.
Okay, this car is in the hands of some, shall we say, serious little soul gangsters. We don't know where they're based, so tail one of them back, find the car, and bring it to the warehouse.
Okay, so this particular mission, like you said, follow around some gangsters until they lead you to the drop-off. On a slightly unrelated note, what a lovely car design this is. Nice American flag style paint job. Now, I can't say I'm a big fan of the American flag. I find it a bit ugly, to be honest. I get that obviously, you know, stars and stripes and whatever, but it's just not the nicest flag. However, I always enjoy sort of doing stuff differently with my cars on this. So whenever I can, I sort of put flag designs on the cars. Also, this is it's meant to be a Corvette. Obviously, it's branded as Coquette on this. Coquette. Probably Coquette. But yeah, no, it's a nice car. Oh gosh! Ah! Move! Go! 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 So yeah, it's a fairly basic mission. You know, trail the car. Don't go too close, otherwise, you know, you'll be noticed. Really, though, how someone doesn't notice, you know, firstly, this car, it looks like something out of some, like, rally. Secondly, the way I'm driving is so, like, you'd think it would give you, like, it would punish you for sort of doing what I did a second ago, driving in the middle of the road. But no, you know, I'm allowed to just do that, and just do it as freely as I like. And plus, you know, what car follows the same route as someone deliberately taking a skewed route to begin with, in this manner? But you know, I'm not complaining. It'd be quite tricky if the AI was a little bit better. So you know, I'm fine to just drive like this. Anyway, what was I saying? The American flag, not that pretty. The American national anthem, despite how, you know, I'm not a fan of the flag, is brilliant. I think Star Spangled Banner is a very good national anthem. Granted, the country itself, you know, America's a dreadful country. Pretty much you know, working, in fact, example of why capitalism is such an atrocious system. You know, so much inequality, so much poverty, so many like decaying infrastructure, awful living standards for so many people. It's just, you know, it's not a good system. Let's just shower. And now take care of these guys. Oh, there's a lot of people there. Ow. But yeah, America just, there's so many, you know, problems. It was built on, you know, genocide, raising the indigenous population, slavery. After slavery, you got Jim Crow. Oh, for God's sake. Yeah, slavery. After slavery, you got segregation, Jim Crow. After segregation, which was only like, you know, they only ended segregation like 50, 60 years ago, and they still, you know, continue it in many of the, you know, the things that are left over. The prison industry they've got there, prisons for profit, it's disgusting, but you know, the American way. The healthcare, you know, atrocious, education system appalling. Inner city areas, just no funding at all. The entire system is so corporate, corrupt, you know, awful, deregulated country. No, you know, shame in the fact their system is so backwards for so many people. And yet, you know, Americans are supposed to be proud of their nation. You know, they actively demonize and castigate you if you don't, you know, pledge allegiance to a flag, stand up to their national anthem. It's ridiculous. And when you look at the quality of the lives people are living there, you know, working people treated like cogs in a machine, because that's all they are to the capitalist system. Meanwhile, you know, Billy Bigcroft, on top of everything, in a super yacht, you know, making his millions, barely having to lift a finger. You know, the most strenuous work he does is whether to invest in one company or another on the stock market. You know, nothing affects him because he owns so much. Meanwhile, the workers that produce his work, you know, they're struggling to make ends meet. They're living from paycheck to paycheck. You know, one immediate financial crisis is going to be the end of their life, basically, because, you know, if they suddenly need to foot a bill for their healthcare, suddenly they can't afford their rent. And, you know, we're supposed to or Americans are supposed to be proud of this country. It's like, no, why would you be proud of that country? And then you look at what America does overseas with their, their horrific foreign policy, invading countries, interventions, economic embargoes, ruining sovereign nations just for the profits of the wealthy, profits of corporations. It's no wonder America is, so loathed all around the world, and yet Americans and really people around the world are supposed to see it as the free world, this amazing place, when it really isn't. It's, it just shows that patriotism and nationalism and all those, blind, ridiculous faith in, various elements of one's identity, or not even that, in their lives, is just absurd. It's silly. And yet, if I go around saying this in America, I risk my life because, you don't stand for the national anthem, you get death threats. You don't pledge your allegiance to a flag, you get demonized by the backwards nature of many segments of their society.
It's all or nothing on this.
That loads of Americans care more about their flag than they do people living in the nation itself. Just look at how, in quite famously, in what's the time of the hurricane, might have been Sandy, might have been Harvey, one of them. They have rolling news footage of firemen rescue a flag, firemen save flags from floods and storm damage. It's like, well, what about the people who are dying because their homes are underwater? What about the massive damage to cities and living areas and residential zones and stuff? What about the people who have been neglected by their government and by their their society because corporations own the right to their water and their healthcare, so they've got no protections when this sort of thing happens. And protections that should have been in place weren't because they weren't funded properly. And instead we get news footage of a patriotic fireman rescues a bit of cloth that happens to have the American flag in it. It's ridiculous. It shows how the nationalism that's so rampant in America is polluting the discourse, and polluting the minds of people that value symbols of their nation over the quality of life that their nation defends. Citizens. It's absurd. And it just goes to show how backwards the American culture is, and how really we shouldn't be celebrating the States, or especially America in particular. Right. Pull the terabytes out again. Time for another bank robbery.
What the fuck? Ah! Shit! Scared me. You asshole!
I mean, on top of everything as well, it's not even a very nice flag to look at. Then I suppose flags and songs, but it's personal choice really, it's personal taste. There's no right or wrong in terms of what people prefer in that sort of respect. And speaking of prefer, just look at the way America treats LGBTQ people. It's only as recently as 2013 that they have nationwide gay marriage, and even then, it's a half measure because the same status and equality across all fields is still not there for LGBTQ people. Just look at the rampant discrimination you see in places of work. Look at the fuss people kick over, businesses have the right to discriminate against gay people. All that nonsense, aimed against people. Look at the transphobia in society. Actual, professional pundits are allowed to just speak out against trans people, dehumanize and delegitimize living people. and they're considered the leaders of their respective political areas. And you just look at the sheer numbers of conservatives who make a living through their bigotry. That's just disgraceful, and yet here we are with this happening on a day-to-day basis. It's horrible, yet it's normal in America. I don't need to name the names because but look at just Fox News, which regularly, they have all these segments of trans people are doing this and that and the other, gay people are indoctrinating your kids, and all this nonsense. And it's accepted as normal rhetoric. Just look at the Trump administration, actively veering itself into fascism, demonizing marginalized people, upholding cisnormativity, heteronormativity, white supremacy, patriarchy, all these systems designed to hold power over marginalized groups. And it's given praise for it. Trump is popular among right-wing people because he's a bigot, because he does horrible things to maximize the capital and power of some groups over others, to play along lines of bigotry, because America is still a very bigoted society. People like to pretend, we've got rights, we've got votes, but firstly, said rights and votes and statuses and protections are being removed. But additionally, people just aren't treated well there. Just look at the amount of violence and hatred towards marginalized groups. It's disgraceful, and yet it's a normality in American society. And people being persecuted by both people, corporations, states, society at large, are then supposed to say, oh well, we love our country. And if they don't love their country, then oh well, they had it coming anyway. It's just horrible. Whole nation, far too many horrible people there as well. It's not a nice place. And again, it's hardly my country, the UK, is pretty grim too. Our current government, the Conservatives, all Conservatives are pretty rubbish, but in particular, the Conservative Party, cutting the NHS funding, benefit system, welfare, social programs, just, along every avenue to be rubbish that exists, the Conservatives are. But then that's the nature of right-wing systems. There's no care for the well-being of other people. It's about maximising your own capital over others. So, whilst a civilised, decent person may say, oh, it's not right to cut the funding that poor people need, to have the systemic poverty in the first place, to imprison people for stealing bread when they need to eat. All those sort of injustices become justified when they further one's capital. Look at the privatisation of elements of UK society. They're not done because the stories are cartoon villains. They're done for business reasons, because it becomes a profitable business venture to commodify train lines and the post service and every other facet of society. It's not done because they want to be evil necessarily. It's done because they can make money, and if you can make money under capitalism, then they have to go for it. There's no limit. Famously, there's no element no line that cannot be crossed, which is why capitalism, is always going to tend to fascism, which is fascism itself is just limitless, abandoned morality capitalism that has crossed lines, that has utilised more extreme versions of force, that has surpassed basic humanity on top of the already loss of humanity that capitalism itself entails, or the wealth of the wealthy, the capital of the capitalists. Trump's policies, to ravage the environment, to scale back the rights of marginalised people. He's not doing this because he decided one day, oh, I'm going to be bad. He's doing it because, you know, it furthers capital. It's something that's good for his business. For,
Great
you know,
job.
for the
Your payment should
wealthy.
be in your account now.
Immigrant cocksucker! Hangers on like you are fucking up this.
Anyway, whilst I was talking about that, we did another bank heist. Went alright. I'm now actually off to my nightclub, another property I own, to check on that. Pretty good. It's a pretty good element of the game actually. You can generate money just while you're doing other activities. And you know that's pretty good because it lets you have a tiny bit of generated income on top of the stuff you already have. And yeah, it's not going to be colossal, but hey, any money is good in a game that is quite tricky to earn money in. It's important to maximize your avenues of income.
Looking good, kid.
I got an idea, okay? Nothing is more toxic to the modern nightclub than the property developer.
through to your garage. You, need me to bring you a ride? It's on the way.
Well done, my friend. I've seen what developers do to these areas. It always ends boring.
You fucking putos are pissing me off.
There's the boss. Hello. How can I help you? You got a nice fleet, boss. You're looking very sharp, boss. No problem. I'll have your personal vehicle brought around.
The registered owner of this vehicle has multiple DUIs, and it looks like he's about to get another one. I'd get over there before they impound the thing.
Why, hello, how you doing? How can I help? Okay, so you're in serious trouble, and you need my help. Okay.
let's get to work. No one's looking for that plate. Wouldn't recognize it. Not bad, if you ask me.
Okay,